Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this Dell Inspiron 153501. Alright, so first we're going to be using a JIS1 screwdriver to remove all the screws from the bottom. You want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and length. Alright, this one, the charge port went bad and doesn't hold the charger in place, so we're going to be replacing the charge port. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove all these screws. Alright, again, keep them in order. The way I do that, I put them flat side down like this on my desk in the pattern I remove them, so that way I can put back the same screws exactly where I got them. Alright, if this video helps you out, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't do that, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then just comment on them because that's what the algorithm likes to see. Alright, the corner screws actually stay attached to the bottom cover, so you don't actually need to pull those out. Alright, so these are to help kind of pull the cover away from the base. Though usually I don't start from that side, I'll start from down here. And the way you do that, of course, make sure the laptop is off. I get my fingernails in the gap between the bottom cover and the palm rest, and then I'll push with my thumb here and pull with my fingernails there. So as you can see, just like that. We'll continue over. Don't push on the touchpad because you don't want to shove that into the computer, okay? So once you get that, we can go ahead and close this up, okay? Second, let me turn off the sounds on my other phone. Okay, so once you get that done, oops. Okay, once you get the front out, I get my fingers in there and then I pull this up while I slide my fingernail along the edge here of the gap to pop the other clips out. Okay, so we'll continue again. Same thing, go along here. Just like that. Okay, now we got the whole front and sides out. You can see we still have this edge. So what I do is I kind of pull up here. If it's stuck, you might have to double check that the screw is all the way out because you should be able to pull it like this. All right, then you can go ahead and slide your fingernail or pry tool in there. And there we go. We got the bottom cover off, okay? So now that we got the bottom cover off, we have to replace the charge port on this one. So to replace the charge port, actually let me get a thumbnail real quick. So we're going to line this up and we'll just leave it there so I can get a thumbnail. Okay. Alright, so once we got that, we're going to remove these two screws. If you want to be extra safe, you can disconnect the battery first. Keep in mind that the battery also acts as the CMOS BIOS battery. So if you remove that, it's going to also reset that. Okay, the battery model number is right here, YRDD6. So if you need to replace the battery, there it is. There's a few screws holding it in place, 2 here, and then 1 here it seems. Okay, so if you need to completely remove the battery, that's how you do it. Looks like there's some broken dust crumbs or something in here. So we're going to get that out. Upside down. Oh, the speaker's like flopping around. So the speaker's like loose here, I guess. Oops, I can't see that. The speaker's loose here. I guess they broke the plastic here. You can see this. Normally this piece is secured here, but it's broken. So let me see. Maybe I can glue that in or something. Because yeah, normally this piece stays secured in there and shouldn't just plop out. Okay, so let me see if I can somehow get this re-secured, maybe with some super glue. Okay, just gotta make sure it's facing the right way. Okay, so just like that. Okay, so I'm gonna put some super glue there and hopefully it will stick in place. I know this wasn't part of the repair I was doing, but maybe somebody's will be broken and they'll need to see how to do this as well. So we'll just get some super glue in there. Okay, and then you just gotta line this thing up and hold it in place. So lining it up is probably the hardest part. Yeah, it's not quite right here. There we go. Okay, then we got to hold this in place for about 30 seconds if you're using super glue. Super glue takes about 30 seconds to completely cure, so you just got to keep holding it there. Okay, so ouch. Uh-oh. Okay. All right, I might have to hold it for another 30 seconds because it moved. I think super glue kind of like melts the stuff and then sticks back together, or it coats it and then it sticks to itself. I don't know how, but it seems to melt plastics and stuff a lot. Okay, so we'll hold it for about another 10 seconds. Okay, let's see. Yep, it holds pretty well now. If you want, you can even put like some baking soda or some fine powdered substance on it to help it harden better or faster. So you can have like this little thing of what do you call? Baking soda, not baking powder. Though I think probably baking powder would work as well. All right, so I'm just coating the stuff there so it's not gonna get stuck to anything. You could also probably just use paper towel and then the fine fibers will just come out. Okay, but there we go. Okay. All right, so there we go. We coated that. I'm gonna clean off the excess and then we will continue with the disassembly and repair. Okay, so I'm gonna hold the speaker out of the way. Oh, sorry, I'm going out of view, but I'm just gonna brush it off into a trash can next to me. Okay, sorry about that. Pull off the excess, and there's the repaired piece here. Hopefully it's set in the right spot, because if not, I'm not going to be able to get that back out. Okay, then we'll just line this back up, push that back down, and there we go. Okay, this is how it should be, solid in there, not moving, and you can see it, you just flop it out. This has a slot for a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive. All right, so if you want, you can put 2.5-inch SATA SSD or hard drive here. There's screws held in place underneath this tape, and then the connector is right there. I'm not going to take it out, but it's held in with 3 screws, 1 in the back here, and then 2 in the front over here. Normally, this is using an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. I don't know why they use this metal bracket and put a tiny SSD. You can get a full-sized one if you want, but you would throw this metal plate away. This metal plate has little metal hooks pointing down that you don't want to use, or it will stab into your new SSD. All right, looks like this one doesn't have a keyboard backlight. There's a little connector here for a keyboard backlight. Keyboard connectors here. This has a flip latch. There's so many pieces of broken plastic in this thing, but keyboard connectors here, same thing, flip latch, you can pull that out. All right, you got this cable here, the I/O cable, which goes to this USB port as well as the SD card slot. Okay, it looks like it also connects to here, which I think it's power button. Let me see here. So you can flip this latch up and it says PW2, so that's power switch, I think. Okay, it looks like they also have connectors for like fingerprint sensors, FP1, FP3, I don't know. All right, anyways, I forgot. Let me take out the battery to show you here. I skipped over everywhere and then I didn't do the battery. But the battery has this adhesive thing on top that we need to peel out. I'm going to use this tool here to peel that up. Okay, once you get under, you can go ahead and peel this off. It helps to kind of like roll it back, don't pull it up. Okay, so just like that. Okay, once you can see the silver part on the whole thing, then what I'm going to do is I use my fingernails at the wings of the connector and I just wiggle it like this. Okay, just like that, and you can see it popped out pretty easily. This connector, if you buy a new battery, you do need to pop this off and put it onto the new battery. I'm not going to do that on here because this isn't having any battery issues. I just kind of wanted to show you guys the process. All right, if you're just doing the RAM or the SSD, you don't need to disconnect the battery. But if you're going to mess with the LCD LVDS cable here, this is for the screen, then you definitely want to disconnect the battery and then open up the laptop and press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds. All right. And this little connector here is actually for the hard drive one. That's for this, but it's not being used right now. Right, then you got that little connector. Oh, interesting. So this power button cable goes here to this. Oh, because the power button is right here. Okay, it's underneath this. So if your power button is broken, it's either this board, this cable, or something here. Okay, you got the fan right here. There's the connector there. Same thing, if you want to remove it, grab the wings, wiggle it, and pull it out. There's 2 screws holding it in place, it looks like. Okay, and I did take this fan out. It's 2 screws, and then there's a little piece of metal that kind of goes underneath. So when you lift it up, you have to go at an angle slightly, and then you can slide it out. I can actually show that. So 2 wings here, wiggle to pull that out. Okay, just wiggle and keep wiggling, and there you go. All right, so I'll show you the 2 screws here. So right now when you plug the charger in, it just pops out really easily. We're going to change to a new one, but there we go. We got those 2 screws. You can see we can lift it up and then we can slide it out, and here's the metal piece that sticks out. All right, I had to clean this out because it had some broken plastic in there, which was causing fan errors. So yeah, anyways, we'll slide this back in. Okay, line it up, and we'll get these screws back in place. Again, hopefully you guys are keeping the screws in order. That's very important. You don't want to mix it around and put longer screws in the wrong spot and then end up punching it through the other side of the laptop. I've seen some people bring me computers where that was happening. All right, anyways, we're going to line this fan connector back up. Okay, make sure to get it in straight in. You don't want it to go at an angle. And then I pinch the 2 pieces together. All right, and then we got the RAM here. There's 2 slots, obviously. Pops up at an angle when you pull those tabs to the side. And here you go. It's PC4 3200AA. Should be fine with any PC4 3200AA RAM. So if you want, you can put 2 16 gig sticks if you want to have 32 gigs. You got the wireless card here. I'm not going to mess around with that because sometimes the antennas, the little connectors aren't soldered well, and if I pull it out, there's a small risk that it might break the antennas off. But if you need to remove it, there's 1 screw there. After that, this lifts up slightly like the RAM, and then if you want, you can wiggle the whole card out if you don't need to remove the antennas. But if you need to remove the antennas, you would slide this plastic piece off. It slides back this way, and then you can pull the antenna out from the tail. It will pop up just like that at an angle. To put it back, you just line it up. It'll get caught over the connector, and then you can just push it straight down. All right, what else? You got the speaker connector here underneath this metal bracket. You could technically pull it out, but this is a little bit in the way. And then the other speaker is connected to this one through that red and black wire over here. All right, so last but not least, I think we got the DC jack or charge port. So let's go ahead and remove that. Oh, and if you're wondering, the fingerprint, it looks like there's a connector here for the FP or fingerprint sensor. So I guess if you have a fingerprint reader, the cable will connect to this board with the fingerprint sensor inside. But again, this model doesn't have that. All right, so let's go ahead and remove this. The hinge has 3 screws holding it down, so make sure to remove all 3. And then we should be able to lift it up to get to the DC jack or charge port. All right. Make sure you also put back all 3 screws. All right, so there we go. We got all 3 out. We're going to go underneath here and pull this up. If you can't lift this up, one easier way to do it is you kind of open the laptop slightly, undo all the screws, and then close it down. Make sure you don't open the screen too far because you can't open this too far. It hits here. Okay, so you want to make sure you're not accidentally like pulling it too high or you'll break this plastic off here. All right, anyways, we got this connector. Same thing with the wings, just wiggle, just like this, and there you go, it pops out. Okay, then now we got to get this out. Oh, it looks like the wireless antennas are in the way, so I don't know, we might have to remove the wireless card. Okay, I'm gonna at least take the wireless card out, but I'm not gonna remove the antennas, okay? So 1 screw here, pops up like that. And then you can see if you want, you can slide this clear piece off. Okay, just like that. I'll do a close-up when I put it back. But now we can kind of get these wires out of the way. Technically, I don't need to pull the wireless card out, but I'm going to hold here. And usually I'll use this raised part to kind of help push it. And I'll wiggle it like that. And there we go. Okay, so there's how you get the wireless card out if you need to do that. And then we got these, or this connector. Let me zoom in a bit so it's easier for you guys to see. Okay, we got to get this out. So I'm gonna just wiggle this, and hopefully it will come out without me having to take the whole motherboard out, because if I have to take the motherboard out, that's gonna suck. All right, so we're gonna kind of wiggle this, and it looks like we can get it out. Okay, there we go. Just like that, and then this part just lifts, and there we go. It has a little thing here to hold it in place a little bit better, but this is the old broken one. Okay, and we're gonna get this replacement one. Hopefully the cable is long enough. Sometimes the replacement has a shorter cable and then it has to just route straight across, but let's see. Okay, so there's the old one, there's the new one, and it looks like it's plenty long, so let's go ahead and put this in. Okay, so just get it back in its slot and drop it down in place. It should just fall in nicely, and then this little piece should go over that raised plastic piece. Okay, see, it's a little bit tricky to align here. Is this not, maybe it's not exactly the same. Oh no, I think the hole on this one is smaller, so it's not fitting over the raised plastic mount. I might have to drill a bigger hole into this, because I think it's not gonna fit. Yeah, I think that's not gonna fit. So let me go grab a drill real quick. I'm gonna drill a hole bigger into this, and then we will continue. All right, give me a second, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So I got a drill bit. It appears to be about a 3/32 of an inch, okay? And now we're just going to drill a hole through the other hole to make it bigger. Hopefully it has enough room and it's not just gonna crack the plastic off. It might just crack the plastic off. Yeah, it seemed to work, okay. And hopefully now the hole is big enough. If not, might need a slightly bigger one, but it seemed like it worked. Okay. Okay, so it seemed to fit. Let's go ahead and see if it goes into place now. Okay, so we'll get this in and drop that down, and oh, I think it might still be a bit small. I can probably use like something to push it down, but let's just drill the hole a tiny bit bigger because it's getting caught there. So I guess we'll go up then. Wait, I have 2, 3, 3. No, I think if I use a bigger one, it'll be too big. I don't think it'll even fit through the old one. Yeah, nope. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run the drill and kind of wiggle it around to widen it a tiny bit. Okay, so we'll just widen it up a tiny bit by kind of tilting it around a little, wiggling it around. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's hope it fits well now. Still, I mean, it gets caught in there, but it's not quite. So we're gonna drill it some more. Sorry for this long process, but we might end up in the same situation. Hopefully that's good enough. Okay, let's see. I think if it doesn't, okay, it fits perfectly now. So once we get that, we do need to guide the cabling around, just like before. We can go ahead and lower this back down. Make sure this goes in the right place. If it's not going in, sometimes you gotta just lift the bottom cover or lift the palm rest up, okay? And then that can get it in, and then you push them both down at the same time. There we go, and we gotta make sure we put it back right. So when you put this in, you can see the old one, they put a blue dot or black dot here where it's solid plastic, so you don't want these pins facing up. And when we put the other one back in, you want to do the same. Don't put it upside down or you can fry something, okay? So we're going to get the cabling back in here, okay? Route it all around. Route it back through these little hooks, okay? Technically, you don't have to shove it back behind the motherboard, but we're just going to follow that, okay? Because that's how it was before. Okay, then we'll get this back in if we can. Come on. It's a little tricky because this needs to be rotated the right way. So, get that in. Okay. And then push that in. There we go. And you can see this cable's a tiny bit shorter, so it's not... Oh, there we go. I thought it wasn't routing, but I guess it did. Okay, so there we go, perfect. Then we get the wireless antennas, do the same thing, just route it in those hooks. Okay, get that in. Then we'll go ahead and get this. It goes in at an angle, pinch the two together, lower this down, make sure this is following the hooks, and there we go. Okay, we'll get this plastic piece and slot it back over so it starts back here. Then you slide it on top, just like this. This side also hooks in just like that. Okay, and then get the screw, get that back in. All right, there we go. Got the wireless card back in. Try and get these to stay hooked in there so when you put the cover you won't accidentally clamp it on anything. Okay. And then we'll just get these 3 screws back in, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't, it would be very helpful if you could watch a few of my other videos and comment on them, because that tells the YouTube algorithm to share my channel as well. All right, so there we go. We got all of that put back together, and then I'm just gonna go plug it in. Obviously, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But definitely the charge port was super loose before. This one is good. I tested it beforehand by plugging it in, so we should be good to go. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let me clean off the bottom cover a little bit. Don't forget to plug the battery back in as well, obviously. But other than that, we should be good to go. Okay, let me clean off more dust from here. All right, pretty simple, straightforward part to replace. Get the battery, line it back up as well. Make sure if you're replacing the battery, you don't accidentally connect that upside down, because that would fry your whole motherboard. All right, here we go. Stick that tape thing back down. Okay, and then we just got to get the bottom cover back on. So flip it over, line it all up. Okay, you can click it all in. Okay, and then we got these two. I like to always twist it backwards first to hear it click, and then tighten it down to make sure it's not going in at a weird angle. Okay. All right. You don't want the screw going in at an angle and then stripping the thing. But there we go. All right. Last few screws, and that's pretty much it. Again, like, subscribe, comment, and yeah. Also, I'm starting up a new channel for my reviews, because people were saying they just wanted to watch computer repairs. Until I reach 1,000 subscribers on that channel and get it monetized, I'm going to continue posting it on both channels. But if you can, and if you like those review videos and other stuff that's not computer or repair related, please go to that channel and subscribe to that one. It's pretty much the same, but instead it's been repaired and reviewed. It's been reviewed and more. That's what it is. Instead of it's been repaired and reviewed, it's been reviewed and more. Okay, so that's going to be my new channel, and we're just going to get all these screws in, and we should be good to go. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, that's it. Let's drop this thing. Bye.